All right. Good evening, Mount Vernon. Oh, y'all are so nice. Y'all speak back and things. Today is Wednesday, March 11th, 2026, and we are here for our regular scheduled city council meeting. Just a little housekeeping. Hold on, I just want to share the live for the residents. For housekeeping, the women's room is right outside on the right-hand side. Gentlemen's room is at the top of the main staircase. If there's an emergency, there's an exit in the back that leads right downstairs to the staircase outside, as well as the main staircase outside. God forbid there's an extreme emergency, we don't want to use the elevator, so make sure that we help each other get out safely. If you have a cell phone, please mute your cell phone or turn it off so it doesn't interrupt the meeting. As well, if you need to talk, step into the hallway because the acoustics are really good in here and we can hear everything, okay? So that means don't talk about me. Not just messing. No, but just step into the hallway if you need to and step back in. What else is there? Yes, let's start the Pledge of Allegiance, led by our Councilwoman Cynthia Turnquist Jones.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Now, those who remember Our Country 'Tis of Thee, you join in. Look, I'll see. Those who are old enough to know that, I'm just messing with you. So we have a couple of things to do this evening, but we also have a couple of honorees today. Our Black History Month celebration. Our first meeting went well. Our second meeting got canceled due to the storm, so we pushed it back to this meeting. So we're gonna get into that first, so we don't hold our honorees hostage throughout the whole meeting. All right? Praise them. I told you the acoustics are good. I could hear you. All right. Okay. Yeah. Council persons, you have your honorees in your folders? Yeah. Everyone has their folders? Okay. And it should be three. You got three? No. Hold on a sec. Nope. It's not in there. Just one moment. It's supposed to be three. It's supposed to be three. Hold on a sec. Hold on, we have a little technical difficulty here. So we'll move right into our public speakers first. Huh? No, we're missing one, so I need to have it so we can proceed.
I mean, did you want me to start?
Yeah, hold on one second. Yeah. Yes, we'll move right into Station Place. Everyone's here for Station Place, right? Station Place? Okay, you can do your presentation while we're waiting. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, you can start. I'm sorry. Push the button so you see the red light.
Okay, yeah,
There
can you
you
hear me
go.
now?
Thank you.
All right, well, good evening, Council President, members of the board. My name is Diana Kolev, and I am with the firm of Del Bello, Donnellon, Weingarten, Wise, and Whitaker. We are the attorneys for the project for Station Plaza. Also here tonight, we have Joseph Apicella of McQuestion Development, as well as our entire development team, our project architect, Bruno Petrosanti, AKRF, our project engineers, and we also have Rich Sendrea from Colliers, our traffic engineer. We were last before you on January 12th at a committee meeting to present this project and also hear your comments and answer any questions you might have. As you will recall, this is a 100 affordable for-sale unit condo proposal at 20 Southwest. So as you know, this project is compliant with zoning, and we have been before the Expedited Review Committee since August of last year. That is the process by which compliant projects move through. And at our last meeting, we listened to your comments, and we listened also to the committee's comments, which we received also at a meeting in January. We resubmitted our plans with some minor changes, but I think qualitative changes. And the committee issued its memorandum confirming compliance and consistency with the city's form-based code for this area. So what we're looking for tonight, and I'm going to pass this off in a minute to Mr. Apicella to go through the changes that were made to the plans. But what we're looking for ultimately tonight is for the council to declare a lead agency under the State Environmental Quality Review Act for this application and to circulate that notice to start the process. I'm going to turn it over now to Mr. Apicella.
Good evening, Mr. Council President Thompson and honorable members of the City Council. I'm not in a town, I'm in a city. A pleasure to be here once again this evening. The project before you and the project we proposed to you at a meeting about 4 weeks ago has changed in a very minor way, but right now I'm going to talk about some of the changes that we've made in response to some of the council members' comments. The Expedited Review Committee is not just some group, it's all of your department heads. Every one of your department heads, engineering, DPW, plumbing, planning, engineering, they have all signed off on this project as compliant with zoning and meeting all of their expectations for an approval. Before you tonight is merely circulation of the seeker requirements, designating you as lead agency. We will look forward at a future meeting for a full site plan approval, but for the time being, this is the action that is before you. If we could put up the rendering, that would be great. I'd like you to see what we're proposing. If we can make that larger, if there's some way to do that. Okay, this is the project we're proposing at 20 Southwest Street. Thank you so much. And it's right next to the building we built prior several years ago, 22 Southwest. However, this building is really a beautiful building. Our architect's going to go through some of the details as soon as I'm completed. But this is a 13-story building over a podium. We have 100 condominium units. They are for sale condominiums for individuals making 80% of AMI. And some of the questions that were asked by the council, we will be addressing in detail. Our company obviously has a great deal of experience. We've built over $1 billion worth of development here in Westchester in New York City, affordable and market rate housing. In addition to that, again, I've talked about the size of our building. We're on a half acre. We're completely zoning compliant. We're not asking for any pilots of any kind. We're not asking for any economic benefits from the city of Mount Vernon. We have ground level commercial space of about 2,600 square feet. Right now, we have a 7-Eleven store there. We are debating between the 7-Eleven coming back in when we're completed. We're also in discussions with the Starbucks for this particular site. One of the main focuses of this development for us is making the area around the building user-friendly, because both south and north are easements that enable people to get to the train. So those particular access points right now are unattractive, to say the least. So we wanted to build, if not quantity, quality, open and public space and access to the train, because it needs to be more desirable. And we believe we've accomplished that. We're going to show you that in a little bit. We are going to build 73 residential parking spaces. There'll be a ground floor lobby, mailroom, concierge, and a concierge desk. Third floor to sales office. Residential amenities include gym, community room, 2 open-air terraces on the roof, bike racks, storage available for every condominium. Many people are coming out of single-family homes, and they want to be able to have storage space, so we wanted to provide that, and we provide that within the building. We're going to have a condo association, and we are working in unison with the MTA. My team of engineers and architects have had 3 meetings thus far with the MTA's engineers and with their administrative staff, because I said to them, while you may not be ready yet for your capital plan, your $50 million plan to renovate the station, which it desperately needs, the access points leading into the station, we're going to do that. But I want your cooperation by making it as safe and as clean, as maintenance, upkeep on the maintenance as possible. And so I've asked them to commit to maintaining the access points both to the south and the north, and taking one of their police individuals from across the street and having them walk the beat through that area on a regular basis. I didn't think that's going to be such a great lift for them, since they're literally across the street, and it's protecting their interests. So I'm hoping they'll commit to that. They haven't done so yet, but we're going to continue to hold their feet to the fire. With respect to it being pedestrian friendly, we have approximately 1,600 square feet of publicly accessible open space. We'll talk about some more in a bit. We also, in terms of impacts, as I said before, no IDA benefits. An environmental impact statement has been submitted and approved. You know what the housing needs are. It's been long time that individuals have the opportunity to own rather than just lease. Give people an opportunity to own. And that's what this is all about. Create some generational wealth, not just a rent receipt at the end of the month. The term of affordability, that question was asked by one of the council members last time. It's going to be up on the slide in a moment, but the term of affordability through New York State will be the resale within a 10-year term of affordability is permitted only to an eligible homeowner earning no more than the original AMI. So they have to be within that average median income at the time, who assume the affordable obligation subject to the recapture of funds if the enforcement note and mortgage are not properly assigned. After the initial term of affordability, the owner may resell or refinance the home without any resale restriction. The housing community renewal will recapture 20% of whatever it's appreciated, because you're buying it at a discount. So they want to recapture a piece of whatever profit you're going to make. So if you're going to make 100,000, they want to recapture 20,000, which seems fair. And that's something they determine. We do not determine that. Unit ownership expenses. For the 1-bedroom, the sale price would be $225,000. The 2-bedroom would be $275,000. The 3-bedroom would be $325,000. We're going to give you the details. You'll see it when we present it with my architect, and we go through all the slides. You see that the common charges will include electric, water, gas, sewer taxes, hot water, repairs and maintenance of your condo, including elevator and supplies, building insurance, superintendent and porter, accounting and legal, lobby attendant, management fee, $750 per unit annually, and building broadband. We're going to provide broadband, high-speed internet to all the units. So at this time, I would like to call our architect up to go through the slides to show you the before and afters. I think that's really important to see what we're going to do here. We think the building's spectacular. It's going to make a real statement at the train station, and we think it's going to help to induce economic development in this area. I want to turn it over to my architect, Bruno Pietrosanti, to go through some of the detail. Bruno?
Good evening, Mr. Council President and members of the council. I am going to re-explain the building, which is 13 stories, has 2 levels of parking above grade and 1 below. And we created a separation of materials between the ground level and the tower. So you will see at the base there, the building wraps around the corner and it creates a nice visual impact on the corner, which is very important. So we have the retail store there and the building entrance nearby. And so that podium is actually a great element, which your city zoning requires, which is very, really opportune element to create a really visual beautification of the building. So as Joe mentioned, we have these pocket areas around the building. If we could go through the slides, I think that will show you a little bit better. If we could go through a few else. I keep going until we get to the photo plan. You keep going, please. That's existing. Keep going. Some more. More. I'll tell you when. Yeah. Again. Yes, please. Till we get to a photo.
plan,
There's a
right?
photo. Okay, right there. If you could blow that up. Okay, so there's 2 areas where the train station actually bounds our property. Okay, one is the southern entrance, which is over to the left bottom corner. You see it like right now is an alleyway of asphalt. And to the right there, we have what we are proposing, which will be a trellised and light filled and actually landscaped nicely and paved with little seating areas and such to create a really attractive element and a public space to get to the train at that element. This is actually a very complementary element to our building as well. So one thing that we're getting here is not only a beautiful entry into the south entry of the train station, but also a nice anchor element for the building. Now, on the other element, which is the top right photo, and of course to the left of that is the existing, is the north entry of the train station, which is the other corner of the building. So we actually are bounded by at both ends by empty entrances. So this one here, we created a little bit of a pocket park, which is right at the entry to create a little bit of a nicer interest. And as Joe mentioned, we are committing to develop that area and to improve it at their cost. And of course, includes the area, the paved area going into the train station as well. Of course, that creates a very complementary element. At the current, the train station is actually not that bad. It just needs a little bit of TLC and maybe a new entrance and entrance doors and such, but a little bit of painting, a little bit of wayfinding, and perhaps one of the things we were talking about with planning is providing some sort of plaque in memory of the old train station, perhaps a little bit of history behind it, that sort of thing, and we would, have that sort of thing at both entries of the train station. So in addition to these two areas, we actually have, and it's not on the slides, I have boards here to show you some green space, certain elements that the mayor had also had displayed interest to make sure we had. So if I could show. This here is a site plan that shows the southern entry. And of course, we have here the northern entry. And of course, this is the site. Now, I want to go to the photos of the roof area. This here is the top roof, main roof, which shows trellis areas, areas for sitting and gathering and such. And we also actually created these little spots around the entire roof area to be green. So we're going to have plantings there and actually have minor trees and such in that location. Also, on the third level, one more, yeah, thank you. This is our amenities floor. So this floor is where we have the gym, the playroom, the meeting rooms, sales office, and we actually have this vast amount of storage, which is one per each unit. So every unit has a storage area.
What page
Also-
are you on? Page are you on?
This is
Oh,
SK4.
that's not,
Oh, these are not, I'm sorry. I brought these only because these didn't make it in the videos here. So that's why I'm presenting to you now. But we could provide this to you at another time if you want. And this area, this is a terrace level as well. So we actually have some roof area here that has similar green space at that level as well. So, since this building is actually taking up a lot of square footage, and structure, we did provide as much as we can in terms of green space along that corridor that we mentioned, that pocket park, and of course, the roofs. We've taken a lot of advantage of the space that we have up at that level as well. So I think I'm pretty much done. I don't know if you want to close. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Just in conclusion, I don't want to take up too much of your time this evening, but in conclusion, this building from a sustainability standpoint is going to be at the highest level of sustainability. This is going to be passive house building. So it's going to have a long-term sustainability in terms of all of its techniques, all of its materials and the like. We're going to be going before the Architecture Review Board in 2 to 3 weeks and present all of our materials to them so they can get a real sense of what this building is going to be like and how the materials will be sustainable. I would also tell you that this is also designated as a brownfield cleanup site, and we're going to do a major environmental cleanup on this site as part of our project. And this is all going, it's a major project, it's very complicated, but we have the team to do it. We've done it before, and we're looking forward to working with this city once again. We had a great experience with 22 Southwest. I know Councilmember Wallace was here and supported that project at that time, and we look forward to working you with this project as well. Thank you.
Councilpersons, you have questions? Concerns? Comments? Wallace?
Absolutely. You might want to step back up, Joe, so we can have this conversation. Yes. Now, I know you said one thing about this project doesn't need any pilots at all, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you guys are willing to put that in writing, correct?
Absolutely.
Before we approve this?
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay, that's one. Two, I know with the form-based zoning, I'm not a big fan of that anyway. So I'm looking at how we can, the council can look over this project. But I don't like rushing things
Mhm.
without making sure that the community gets what they deserve. And you know where I'm going with this. Okay, because in that square where that building is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a 3,000 square foot open space plaza with fountain and all. It's in the contract from the last time. I made sure it was in the contract. I know you said you were gonna look it up, but I brought you a copy because I looked it up. I
Sure.
pulled out the contract. We have, just so you can refresh your memory. Go to page 2, Joe. Because I know you
Yes, sir.
have that. Page 2,
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me,
you see,
Council President,
Hold on.
did you send that to the rest of us?
it was sent to you guys.
I don't have it in my email.
Did you look at the emails?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I
What
could give,
was it sent?
I could get, you want my copy? I know it by heart. I know
Yeah,
it by
so
heart.
we can follow along. Or at least let me take a picture of it.
Don't worry, I don't even need it. I remember it like it was yesterday. Because it was April 4th, 2018. I was sitting right here at that time. Remember?
I remember.
Okay, we negotiated this with the contract right at that end of that table, you and I, because you came in to get my vote. I said, all this has to be in writing. It has to be done for the people. And we need to make sure that we're following this agreement. I asked for the 3,000 square feet. We agreed on it. It's supposed to look like, I even gave you a picture, like the fountain set up in front of Starbucks in White Plains. Favors that kind of area with sitting benches and beautiful. We spoke about that. You came back, I still remember it. You had 2,000 square feet. You said the office made a mistake. So I said, that's okay. And we crossed it out
Mm-hmm.
and we made it 3,000 square feet, initialed it and all, and everything was good. And I voted on it. Okay, that has never been done. I did not win the election. I was not back. I was gone. So I'm trying to find out how from the time I left, okay, to the time I came back, that plaza that belongs to the people did not get done. And what do you think that value is?
I think there's a misunderstanding here, and I'm happy to,
I'll listen.
I'm happy to describe it to you. This stipulation right here talks about 20 Southwest, the project we are proposing today, the new project,
Yeah, that's gonna be.
20 Southwest, correct?
That's
We're on the
that
same page
space.
now.
Yes, we on the
That
same.
we would add 3,000 square feet of public space. It says it, I'll read it. And this was the approval on an entirely different project, having nothing to do with this project. But that was an entirely different project, 22 Southwest.
Correct.
This document referred to 22 Southwest site plan approval. And it talked about 3,000. We crossed it out. I was right there with you. I initialed it. Those are my initials.
Yes, it is.
And we said that when we develop this project, we would venture to build a 3,000 square foot level open space.
Attached to, attached to 22 West.
No, there's no reference to that here.
That, but the stipulation you're looking at is for the building 22 West.
No, sir. Yes,
Exactly.
but this refers to 20 Southwest Street, the new project. It says it right here, council member. Applicant, McQuestion Takeover Station, that would be us at the time, will, in conjunction with the future development of the property known as 20 Southwest Street. Now, that's the future. That's the one we're proposing today. So, but we still haven't met that, by the way, even in our new proposal. I'm in agreement with you.
Okay, but my point, I understand. I clearly understand that the community didn't get what they were supposed to get.
I just don't want you to give the impression that
But-
we were supposed to do something on the old project that we
No,
did
no, no,
not
no.
do.
While
That's
you were
not
doing,
true.
while you were doing that project, you were supposed to build the whole open space in that space of 20 West. That's what it was, because there is no other space for you to build it on 22 West. So that was a part of it.
I'll read it and
No,
let the people decide.
I get it, I
In
get it.
conjunction with the future redevelopment of 20 Southwest. We never redeveloped 20 Southwest, council member. We've never
Okay.
done it. We're doing it
So,
now.
okay, so you have 3,000 square foot of open space to make up for it? Right?
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir.
Where is that gonna be? I didn't see it on the drawing. You
It's
just-
not, well,
Your architect just got up here and said he's gonna give us 1,600 square feet. That means we're missing 1,400 square feet. Do the math. It's simple.
correct.
So you're giving us, we're minusing 1,400 square feet. How
That
do you-
is correct.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. What are you guys prepared to do for the community to make that up?
Well, there's a couple things we're looking at. First of all, there's quantity and then there's quality. We believe that basically the only way we can get to that 3,000 square foot number would be to eliminate the commercial component and only have a residential build, which would be zoning non-compliant because it requires, that zone requires a mixed use. So the building would become non-compliant if
So
we
you're-
were to do
so-
that.
So you're telling me today the building will become non-compliant if you put the 3,000 square feet that you put in the contract that's supposed to be for the adjacent development, hold on, for the adjacent development. So see, I got a problem with that because,
Mhm.
see, Joe, this is what, and I know you for a long time, so we're friends.
Yes, sir.
I
We don't have to
feel like-
agree on everything
Exactly,
to
but
still be friends.
I don't like when people are pissing on my leg and pretending it's raining, because I know the difference because the piss is warmer. So I get it. I could figure it out. But what I'm trying to tell you is if that was the case, if you were telling the truth back then, are you lying now? Or if you were telling the truth now, were you just selling us a bag of rocks?
I'll
Then-
respond. Our intention at that time, 6 years ago, that was 6 years,
8 years ago.
8 years ago, our intention at that time was when and if, because we may never have developed this project, we could leave it the way it is. But when and if we redeveloped it, we were going to venture to reach that goal of 3,000 square feet. I'm telling you right now, we cannot do that based on the actual plan. You don't know exactly until you sit down with your architects and your engineers what can fit into a space. It's not like we were trying to cheat on it. We're telling you it just doesn't fit. And so we're going to put as much as we can into it. And if you have a suggestion, or any of the other council members have another suggestion as to how we can compensate, because we're talking about 1,000, 1,400 square feet here. And we've got a $100 million, $120 million beautiful project we want to build for this city. So over 1,400 square feet, can't we work this out?
We could always work anything out.
Okay.
But what I'm saying to you is what is that worth to you? I know what it is worth to the city. And I expect the city to get something for that. Because you sold, let me give you an example. A friend of mine just purchased a house, right? And I was just at that house down in West Palm Beach. He was supposed to have a 4-car garage and he got a 2-car garage. And the rest of the property that they were supposed to build on it and stuff, they sold it to somebody else. They're building another person's house, right? After he paid for it and looked at it, they had to compensate him because he wanted 4 cars. They gave him 2. You gave us 1,400 square feet left over. You took 1,600. That's all you gave us. So what is the 1,400 worth to you that you're going to compensate the city? Are you going to build us a new park somewhere for the children?
We are,
Are you
we
gonna
are,
do something?
we are willing between now and our next council meeting, we're willing to discuss it internally, see what we can do to try and compensate in some way for that difference of 1,400 square feet.
See, because I like the project because of what it is. And I want to see more of this because this is something I've been pushing for years. And
Okay.
it's finally here. It just happened to come through you. Okay, but that's great because I believe that people should have ownership in their community that they live in. And I've always said that about the police, the firefighters, the teachers, and so on. They should not have to buy a house up in New Windsor or across in Connecticut or someplace else when they could be able to afford a condo or something here. So I applaud the project. I want the project, but I cannot get past how this was done because this is an ongoing pattern with your company. And I'm saying this I'm saying, no, Joe, don't let me go down to go back and all, because we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But what I'm telling you is this time we need to get what we deserve for the people, because that's why we are here, to do their work and to make sure that they're not cheated. And I'm not going to vote on this tonight, but I'm willing to vote on it when you come back with the pilot, no pilot in contract, and an idea of how you're going to work for the community and give us back 1,400 street, maybe 1,400 square foot, maybe in a beautiful playground for our children, maybe into something else, but we'll figure it out, because I know what the cost was for that plaza, for that
Okay.
3,000 square foot open space plaza.
Okay.
You know, I'm a builder, you know, I do the estimates for over 30 years. So what is
Okay.
your cost? I'm curious to know about. And what are you guys willing to do for the community to make that up? Because we want the project. It's a great project. But we have to be made whole. The city and the community has to be made whole. And I think that's fair.
All
And I
right,
think we
and
could reach something, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Willing to
al-
work on that with
also-
you.
also, this is one of the good things. Also, this is one of the good things when city council becomes lead agency over projects, because we can hold accountability in place. And also the ask is different from what the planning department would ask for, right? So we could ask for beautification and hold accountability in place for the missing footage if it can be placed elsewhere. As Councilman Wallace said, if we were revitalizing one of our parks in place of the 1,400 feet, think those are kind of conversations you can bring to the table and make sure that the city is not shortchanged, if you will, on what the proposal was at any given time. All right, so we have any other questions,
And
Councilperson?
may I
So
finish with
Hold on.
what I was, my
One
last
second,
piece?
third course wanted
Yeah,
to say
I wasn't
something.
finished when you cut me off, but go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate everyone being in here, especially today, because we need to make sure that we know exactly what's going on in the city of Mount Vernon. I'm really interested, again, like I mentioned last time, about the conversations that you're having with Mount Vernon West, because I take that train on a regular basis. It's West? MTA? I know that MTA is with that, and I know that you're having conversations with them. And I would like to be a part of that, because I'm interested in their $50 million renovation of MTA Mount Vernon West, which is definitely needed. And that will also attract individuals to come, because it's a lot of people that work in New York City. It's a really hop, skip, and a jump to New York City, and I would like to be a part of that. Thank you for answering Andre Wallace
Absolutely.
questions as well.
And happy to include you, Madam Council Member, if you'd like, in some of our conversations with the MTA.
Thank you.
Wallace had something else.
Yes,
And that's good, because what she said, I was going to lead to that next question, because I spoke to MTA. So when I did speak to them, you guys haven't communicated with them then. So when have you started communicating with MTA?
Well, we began our communications about 8 weeks ago, and we've had 3 meetings since, including yesterday.
8 weeks ago, but you were here how long ago?
Before then, yeah, we have emails going back and forth. I can give you all the information. I'm happy to share the emails with you.
Okay, because I like to see that. 'Cause I
Yeah.
spoke to them and they said you guys
That-
still haven't had.
I'll send them to you tomorrow. I
Okay,
have all that, and we're dealing with their PR people. We're dealing with their engineers. In fact, we had to do testing last week that their engineers wanted to see today, and we sent that over to them today. So it's an integrative process. We're not doing anything on our own. We cannot. Because the wall, for instance, the wall in back of the access
Mhm.
is, if we were to take our building down, it would affect their wall. So we have to work on this together. So we're going to work with them on the
Okay.
footings, the foundations, all the details of the structure, the supportive excavation, all of that. And I have the engineers on the call. Happy to share those communications.
Councilwoman Turnquest Jones said that she wants to be a part of it. I will make sure that I forward those numbers and those contacts so that everybody, you guys can stay in, it can be monitored.
Perfect.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
No,
Yes.
thank you
Councilman
for coming
Barfield.
out tonight, Councilman Box Hill.
Of course.
I appreciate you answering my questions about the restraint on alienation of the condos. Yeah, I appreciate that. I love this project on its face. I mean, for sure. I mean, home ownership for our residents, it's something that we desire. You guys are willing to pay your full weight in property taxes. Again, that's another win-win for the city. I think Councilman Wallace brings up an extremely important point. Like I said, on its face, we love this project, and we just want to ensure that we're going to get everything that's promised to us. And then where do I sign up? That's my sentiments about it. So thank you again, and we look forward to working with you and again holding you to the fire for every promise, every dot on this contract. So thank you.
Respect and appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you. Gleason?
So my experience from being on planning, a lot of the stuff that's being asked tonight of Councilman Wallace actually comes through the secret process and the actual application. And I don't want anybody to be confused tonight. Us declaring the lead agency just means that we're overseeing the application process. That does not mean that this project is approved. And I think that it's very important for everybody to understand that the five of us sitting here tonight, all of us live here, all of us are taxpayers. Most of us have taken the train back and forth. That is a pristine piece of property here in the city of Mount Vernon. Absolutely needs to be developed. And we also have to move our firehouse from there. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands what the process is. All these questions that we're asking tonight comes through the application process. Approving as a lead agency doesn't make a declaration. With all due respect, we know you've built here in the city of Mount Vernon. We know that McQuestion Development started here in the city of Mount Vernon. It does not mean that this is an automatic approval. So I just wanted to make sure that the residents and the people who are online understand that. Thank you.
That's correct. And when city council becomes lead agency, if we approve lead agency at any point, that does not mean that the developers break ground tomorrow or any time in the future. That just means we're going to oversee those projects. So thank you for clarity, Gleason. Any other questions, council persons?
Is it, because I know that, Councilman Wallace and yourself mentioned about partnering and beautifying a specific place. Can we give you a specific place?
I'm happy to hear it.
All right, so we have a spot that's across from, Big Billy's. I think you need to check that out. What street is that on?
Mount Vernon Avenue and McQuestion Parkway.
Thank you.
Happy to listen. That sounds interesting.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you. So you had something else to input?
Yes, I just wanted to add, I believe that there may be, since you're speaking about SECRA and declaring lead agency, I believe there might be a resolution before you tonight to take that action. So if you can consider taking that action tonight, that's what we would be requesting.
Okay, Wallace?
My recommendation to the body here, I understand that we need to make this vote tonight. That's what they want. However, I would prefer that we have the pilot stuff and all that in writing because we know we can do it the next session. But please, if it's not in writing, it don't exist. That's how I live. I would like it in contract and paperwork written down. And then when they bring that in, we vote on it. And it's just it'll be the next session. I'm happy with that. I'm just talking to the body. And I know it's about taking lead agency, but I'm uncomfortable with it because of the simple fact that this has happened before and there's a track record. If there was no track record, I'd be fine with it. It's just like a bad lender or a bad person that, don't pay their bills back. You're going to trust the guy with the 900 credit score, the guy with the 300 credit score. So that's all I'm saying.
Other council persons?
So
So I don't think that's a fair statement, right? And I think that the document that you supplied to us clearly states that this is supposed to be in this project that is going to be developed. Now, I don't disagree with you, but I think that I'd rather come to the meetings already knowing this on Monday. You never said anything about this on Monday, right? So we could have saved everybody a lot of time and money tonight and have put it off to the next meeting with future questions. So it's, you know, I'm up for however you want to move forward, but I want to be very clear that the document that you gave us specifically refers to this particular property's open space, and the developer has already committed to working with us for that 1,400 square feet. Now, I do agree with you on the pilots. They said it in public.
Mhm.
You know, it's up to however the council wants to move forward, but I mean, I'm
Well-
fine with that in writing,
So-
but.
So
I'd
rather-
rather
Also, you,
post on a Monday night,
But let-
have the
also, they
discussion.
did, that is correct. So our work sessions, for those, just for clarity, our work sessions are on Monday. And we go over everything that can be a possibility for the agenda for us to vote on Wednesday. So we hash out all of that. So being, you know, tonight is just for ask of lead agency.
Right.
And then, whatever processes come then have to come before the council. So if we're asking for something in writing, we don't have to move anything else forward after you become lead agency, because now everything has to come before the council. So, that's what we can, it's to the council's pleasure once it
Correct.
comes up.
Council
And
President.
if I
almost
just
that.
may,
Mhm.
with declaring lead agency, what happens is then the notice and the summary of the project, all the documents that we submitted get circulated to other affected agencies, which they may have their own comments to submit
That's
to
correct.
the board. And so the sooner that we get that process started, the more time that we will have to understand what other potential comments there might be. It gets circulated to all affected agencies, I believe, including the Metro North. So this way, it all comes together. And that's the purpose of that process.
Can we,
I-
hold on, can we have Brad, our attorney, speak on the matter? What's your sentiments, on your opinion on what's been proposed?
And Brad is our land use attorney here in the city. Brad.
Good evening, everyone. So yes, Brad Schwartz, I represent the city council. So yes, what's before your council tonight is a resolution to declare your intent to serve as lead agency. It's a procedural step. I agree with Councilwoman Gleason. It doesn't commit the council to any decision substantively on the merits. The applicant's attorney is correct. It starts a 30-day clock for the council to circulate that intent to other agencies for their feedback on do they agree or not with the council serving as lead agency. And then the secret process kind of unfolds from there. What that means is all the questions that you're asking tonight about pilots and open space, the applicant's responsible to provide that to your council, and you will review and then make a decision once you have all the information in front of you. So again, tonight is purely procedural lead agency intent. It's not even declaring lead agency status yet, because even that's premature. It's just lead agency intent to start the secret process, no vote or consideration of the merits of the application tonight.
Thank you for clarity. Wallace?
I understand what the secret is because I've been through this and down the road many times. This is the same thing that happened the last time. So what makes you think it won't happen this time? Because we're a different body? So what I'm saying to others and speaking to you, Caitlin, on this, I'm going to tell you because you wasn't there. I was. So I'm telling you what happened. You can take it or leave it. It's in writing. And I got this.
Just to be
Hold
clear,
on, may I?
I was
I-
at
if-
every
If
meeting.
I may.
Hold on
if
one
I
second.
may,
Hold
were
on one
not
sec.
there. You were not
Go ahead.
there. You were not there, or you would have knew about this. And if you were there, then you knew about it because everybody on the council knew about it. And I just happened to remember because it's in writing, because I asked for things in writing. I don't care who you are or where you come from, not meaning you in person. To me, if it's not in writing, it don't exist. Politicians and people say things all the time in public. And then when it's time, they seem to change their mind because I've always heard from other politicians that politicians have a right to change their mind and opinions and views. But you know what? If it's in writing, that's what it is. That's all I'm
Okay,
saying.
and also, the developer agreed to submit in writing. It's always good to hear when first off, so you know,
Gonna
city
do it?
council does not approve pilots. Once again, for clarity, city council does not approve pilots. Pilots go through the IDA, Industrial Development Agency. Those are the persons who approve pilots. So just for clarity, here and online, City Council has nothing to do with pilot applications, just for clarity. So with that being said, it's also good to hear a developer say that they're not asking for pilots. Although we don't approve pilots, it's good to hear them say that they're not asking, because now they're not asking for any payment in lieu of taxes. That's what a pilot is, right? And they said they'll submit that in writing, and we'll look forward to getting something of that nature in writing as well. And in regards to the literature that was sent out today, the way it is written does state that for future projects within that area. So there needs to be more discussions and accountability as how this is supposed to play out. But that's the great part about City Council becoming lead agency, possibly for any project, because we can hold people's feet to the fire a little more. So thank you so much. Gleason, one last
And
thing,
this
and then
is
we're
the
gonna move
last
forward.
statement. Yes, it's in writing for 20 West. So I just want to be clear on that. This is for 20 Southwest. Okay, that's the stipulation here. There's no stipulation for the prior property that they reneged on. It's for this particular property. So the 3,000 is still in the conversation. Okay, they've identified 1,600, and he has come back and said, we'll develop maybe 1,400 somewhere else or be negotiating in the application process. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so
Councilwoman,
that says it's in this particular project, so I don't.
I have
don't
no,
see your-
All right,
So-
we
so-
don't know. Hold on 1 second, Wallace.
Andre,
Hold on.
before you go,
Hold on.
before you go on, hold on.
Point of order, hold on. We don't want to take up everyone's time going back and forth, because we don't want to sit here to 12 o'clock discussing one thing. We have the information in front of us. We also have an ask, and we want to make sure that the information in the ask is congruent, so then we can move forward with that. So thank you so much for your presentation. Councilpersons, thank you so much for your responses. And we look forward to gathering more information in regards to this project. Okay? Thank you.
So I understand that you're not going to be taking action tonight on this then?
Tonight, it is on the agenda, so
Later.
it's on the agenda tonight.
I just
All right.
want one quick item. And to the extent, and I'm sure you're taking minutes,
Mhm.
I, as an owner and vice president of this company, I'm committing to, in your minutes, to not making any application for pilots of any kind. And I'm happy to sign whatever document Brad would like to get me tomorrow. I have no problem doing that. If that gives you comfort, happy to do that. Also said would work with the council members to identify another parcel, as long as we keep this moving. But, there's nothing that kills projects like time.
I got
So
you.
if you
Thank
keep
you.
this moving, I'm happy to work with you.
Thank you so much for your input, and the council will be looking forward to gathering other information and receiving what you've promised the council. Thank you so much. So we're gonna pivot for one moment. And we're gonna go into our honorees, because I know we don't want to hold y'all here, so sorry. Our first honoree, we'll go with Councilman Box Hill. Our
Sure.
first honoree.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone, again. I'm glad we have a packed house for this because this person is well deserving of the recognition. Tonight, I'm proud to recognize an exceptional member of our community, Miss Claudette Giles. Let me let's read this quick snippet about Miss Claudette. So for about 20 years, Claudette has used her talent, her leadership, and passion to empower others through the beauty industry. As the owner of Essence, a beauty hair salon, 36 West First Street, right? Quick plug, 36 West First Street. She has created more than just a successful business. She has created a place with confidence, mentorship, and opportunity to flourish. Her commitment goes far beyond the salon. Through her nonprofit, the Giles Foundation, Claudette organizes special events providing free haircuts, free hairstyles for children living in shelters, And she also organizes gift giving and clothing drives for individuals experiencing homelessness throughout the year and the holiday season. She also organizes Thanksgiving dinners and shelters for families experiencing homelessness. So her work continues to uplift and support some of the most vulnerable members of our community. On behalf of the City Council and the City of Mount Vernon, it is our honor to recognize Claudette Giles for her dedication, leadership, and commitment to serving others. Claudette, Mount Vernon is a better place because of your service, your generosity, your heart for this community. Thank you.
Come say something, Claudette. Say something, lady.
Um, I'm accepting this award, but I want to say thank you, but I know it's given to me, but it's actually for almost everyone here, because nothing I've done would have been possible without almost everyone here. It's a community event, and everyone support whatever I do, so I thank you. Give yourself a round of applause. The Giles Foundation do support the kids and people in the shelters and people that are in need. So when we come and ask for your support, please, please. And if there's a fire, you know, we do what we can. Each one help one. And it's not for me, it's for you. So I'm just receiving this award for you guys. So thank you.
City council persons and everyone.
I need to go.
You want anybody else? Back up. We're gonna do one quick picture, and then the family and friends who want to come up, they need to come after this one. Okay? All right, make everyone get forward, everyone forward, they smile, 3, 2, 1. One more, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Family and friends come up, and pay for that. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. So y'all all done all that, right? All right, all right. We are good. Thank you. Now we're going to move to Cynthia Turnquest Jones, Councilwoman. And Claudette, don't leave, because then all three of y'all gonna take a picture at the end together, okay? So all honorees are gonna take a picture together at the end. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Hello, everyone. So, City Council is asked to honor a person. My person is 10 years old. And that is because she is what I call a mirror, a window, and a sliding glass door. And what that means is that when somebody looks at her, they feel as though that they could mirror her. They feel as though that they can open up a sliding glass door and be her, or sit at the window pane and say, wow, who is this? And so I bumped into Cody a while ago, but I bumped into her a couple of nights after the fire in Mount Vernon when she was at homeschool and she was serving those who were without housing. And she did it with a smile. She did it with no problem. And then she went about her merry little way. And so, Cody, I appreciate you. And I want to tell you that it takes courage to get up and serve a person who you have no idea who they are. And so I see you as my mirror. I would like to be you. Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Step forward. Eyes on me. 6, 1, 3, 2, 1. All right, family, come on. Come on, Edwin. Some come on the other side as well. Everybody move forward. I'll the meeting now. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 1 more. 3. Also, we'd like to thank our superintendent of schools for being here, Dr. Demario Strickland. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna have Councilwoman Caitlin Gleason do the last one.
Good evening, everybody. I have the distinct honor in celebrating Adria Seward Gallman. You could clap. One of the great reasons for celebrating Adria is the fact that she gives so much back to the community, that she does it without paparazzi behind her, no cameras taking pictures. She is always there, always on the scene, whether it's city council, whether it's some other organization giving back to the community, Adria is there. Not only has she supported city council, she supports the community every time she sees them. And her cooking is incredible. And some of you may know that she is the sister of our council president, Derek Thompson, but that's not the only reason why she's being honored. She, like I said, takes her own time, gives it back to the community, and that's why we're celebrating people that are really like the unsung heroes here in the community. So Adria, I can't wait, come on up.
I didn't do this for recognition, I love my family, I love my city, and yeah, you already know behind the scenes, he slayed me, but love y'all. Thank you. Appreciate it, y'all. Right.
She's my little sister. She's just older than me. My little big sister.
Oh, that air feels so good. I'm sweating. And this one's like, I'm cold. I was like, who are you? You're over 50. Earlier.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the honorees. Thank you. Thank you so much. So that's it for our honoree section. Also, thank you, Trustee Brown, for being in attendance. Thank you so much. And we honored your baby. Yes, yes. So thank you so much. All right. So we're gonna take a minute. Those who would like to escape at this moment, you can. Once again, we're gonna take a moment. Those who would like to exit at this time, you can, because we're gonna get right back into our legislation. Yes,
All right.
we have our speakers first, yes.
You.
Thank you all so much for coming out and supporting our honorees. Thank you so much. So we're gonna go into our speaker section. Speakers, you have 4 minutes to speak. When you come up, please state your name and address for the record, and then you can go on with your speech. Here we have Brenda M. Johnson. Is Brenda Johnson in-house or online? Yeah. Is that Brenda? No? Okay. Wilma Frank? Is it on? Is it red? Push the button, it should be red. Oh, okay.
You heard me? Good afternoon. Councilman Wallace, good job. I like that. All right. My name is Wilma Frank. You know my address. I came here because I think it was important for me to come. You know, a bunch of us senior citizens, we always get together and go to Memorial Field to exercise. That's why I look so damn good. Okay, but yeah, what's today? Wednesday, Monday when we went, the guy opened the field and there is no lights at all. When he opened the field, I said, he's very, I don't know. He doesn't like people, in my opinion. He just opened it, don't know morning, nothing, like he don't want to be there. But I'm not here to talk about him. I'm here to talk about the lights. So we asked him if he can turn on the lights. He act like if he didn't know us, he didn't hear us. So we went on walking, and with flashlight on the phone, and we walk around 2 miles. We do 2 miles whenever we go. So I called the department. I didn't want to come here all the time, but I think it was imperative for me to come because I called his department and all I got was excuses telling me about daylight saving time. They have nothing to do with that. And one time another person called and the woman said to her, well, you shouldn't go so early. I think you should stay home. I wouldn't be there at 6 o'clock. I think this is so disrespectful to us. I know that the city, the county is in charge of the city field, but we need respect. This is our community. We have a right to exercise. They have all kind of crazy sign on there like don't come with high heel. Who go in the field with high heel? That's what they think about us. I think this is not right. Another thing that they do is when holiday times come, the field is closed. Sunday, the field is closed. So people that are working, they have, if they want to exercise, to get all the stress out, and they off on holiday times, they feel it's closed. Sunday, you're off, the field is closed. What is this? I mean, you know, we need some kind of respect in this community. People come and they feel they could just do us whatever we want. We are the one that carry the torch. When other people left Mount Vernon, I've been living here for over 15 years, 50 years. When I came here, I bought my house. I used to own several properties in Mount Vernon. And if you check my record, I always pay my taxes. And now people just want to come back and push us out and take over in Mount Vernon. But this is why I like what you're doing. Because, you know, when people come here, they look at you like if you're all stupid. Because the last time they came with nothing at all. And they want you to approve something. So you can do that. You have to let people give you respect. They might not like you, but they will respect you. So, and I don't like the bickering. You know, when you say something, fine. When she says something, everybody should respect what each other say. Should be respect. Don't be fighting, man.
Can you finalize, Ms. Frank?
Pardon me?
Can you finalize?
Thank you so much for listening.
David Rach, I hope I didn't mess the last name up. Are they online or in person? No?
Reich, check online. He was here in person earlier.
Is she online? No? Lisa Copeland, is she online? No? Francine Rosario?
Brought you guys with us from the taxi.
Well, only you can speak.
No, it's
Okay.
to stand and
Oh, y'all can stand with her, but only you can speak.
It's on. The
Yeah.
red light. Everybody can hear me, right?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so good evening, everyone. My name is Francine Rosario. I'm here today speaking on behalf of the Taxi Commission and the many members of the taxi driving community. I would like to ask that a vote would be suspended until further time when we can actually meet with public safety during a taxi commission meeting. First, I want to say that I follow the city council meetings weekly, monthly. Anytime you guys are on, I get notification. I follow them because I want to know what's going on in Mount Vernon. On Monday's meeting, I was taken back during a portion of the meeting. Mr. Wallace, you were sworn in to your position in the month of January. Congratulations and welcome. But I need to correct a few points that you made during Monday's meeting. When you spoke to Councilwoman Gleason, you said you spoke to TLC, Long Island City, and companies overseas about taxi business. What happened to speaking to the Taxi Commission? You also made several points to mention that you spoke with Corporation Counsel, but again, what happened to speaking with the Taxi Commission? You were formally invited by email February's meeting, and you did not show. Also, I made it a point that every council member was invited to today's meeting. And again, no one was in attendance, but thank you, Ms. Gleason, for at least answering the email. Okay. Ms. Gleason, you asked during that meeting on Monday, how was the proposal received by the Mount Vernon Taxi Commission? And Mr. Wallace, you stated that we're fine with it. I never met with you. And I'm at every taxi commission meeting, and I never missed one for the last 3 years. Okay? The taxi community, we're struggling. We're struggling with fares. It's a small town. And now with this new legislation that you want to put into effect, about the 10 years, or older for the cars. 2/3 of the cars are years 2014, 15, and 16. And there's one out there that's a 2009 and a couple that are 2011s. And I bet if you look at them, you won't even know those years even existed on those cars because they're that nice looking. Okay, the cars do not, the year of the car doesn't constitute safety. I believe that the upkeep of the cars and the state inspection, biannual inspections, that will ensure safety of the vehicles, not taking someone to Long Island City so that guy could try to sell us cars, okay? If the 10-year rule comes into effect, who will compensate the drivers that own those vehicles that have to come off the road? And how will they be able to afford new vehicles once they've stopped working? Without traffic, it takes about 7 minutes from one side of Mount Vernon to the other, north, south, east, or west. And how can we explain meters in the taxi cabs? Who's paying for these meters? And who's responsible for the meters? And will this be an additional charge to the $500 that these taxi drivers have to pay in April? Advertising on the taxi cabs. Who's paying for those advertising? And who gets to decide what advertisements get put on top of the cars? Okay, Mount Vernon is a small town, and the comparisons that were made were not from neighboring cities like Yonkers, New Rochelle, White Plains, Larchmont, Bronxville, and et cetera. So before we move forward, I would just like to ask the city council to suspend that vote. I'm finishing right now, just so that way the taxi commission, the public safety, the council people and the corporation council, we can all be on one page. And then maybe the legislation could be discussed. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, you'll get, everyone will have a response after the last, speaker. Zachary Robinson.
Good evening, Council President, esteemed council members. My name is Zach Robinson. I live at 312 Hayward Avenue. I'm here to talk briefly about something that affects the long-term health and stability of our city, and that's housing for working and middle-income residents. Mount Vernon has taken important steps over the years to support affordable housing for seniors and affordable housing in general. I'm aware of Grace Baptist Church. They have 4 such developments, 3 for seniors, 1 for affordable housing. And those programs are vital, and they serve as an important role in our community. But there's another group of residents whose housing needs are often overlooked: the working and middle-income people who keep our city functioning every day. These are teachers, healthcare workers, city employees, small business staff, tradespeople, young professionals who want to live in the community where they work. Many of them earn too much to qualify for low income, but on the other end, not enough to easily purchase a home or condominium. For them, the options in Mount Vernon are extremely limited. Right now, if you are a middle-income worker in our city, you're often faced with 2 choices: stretch financially to buy a home, or leave the city to find a reasonable rental elsewhere. That is not a healthy situation for a growing community. Rental housing for working and middle-income residents is an important piece of a balanced housing market. It allows people to build their careers, save for the future, and remain part of the community without being forced into home ownership before they are ready. That part, without being forced into home ownership before they are ready. It also allows the city to retain the workforce that supports our schools, businesses, services, and local economy. This is especially important for the south side of Mount Vernon. Neighborhoods thrive when they have a stable base of working residents who invest in the community, support local business, and maintain the vitality of the area. Lastly, if we want strong neighborhoods, we need housing that reflects the full spectrum of people who live and work there, not just luxury apartments or low-income housing, but also rental housing that working and middle-class families can realistically afford. That's the next part, realistically afford. too many people are stretching themselves to the seams, trying to get that house or that condo that they can't really afford. Tonight's discussion presents an opportunity to think about the long-term needs of our city. Creating more options for the middle class and middle-income renters would help keep working people in Mount Vernon and strengthen the neighborhoods that rely on them. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Purdy Wattler.
Good evening, Council President Thompson and all council members, city council members. Good evening to the residents of Mount Vernon. I'm here also basically to speak on the same subject as the gentleman before me, Zach Robinson. I here am a resident of Mount Vernon for, as of this month, 30 years. Formerly, I had a property on 448 Columbus Avenue. I moved to Harrison Street, where I reside now. And I used to live in New Rochelle. So back in the 90s, when I decided to move to Mount Vernon, some of my associates and friends questioned me about why I should do that. And I felt that Mount Vernon showed quite a bit of, well, it showed a lot of potential. At that time, I saw the potential in Mount Vernon, and I wanted to be a part of that. So I moved here, buying my first home. So I was one of those people that was kind of stretched, as Mr. Robinson alluded to initially. I had a high interest rate, but thankfully I had some people who were realtors who kept an eye out for me. And I was able to purchase a home that was owned by a family that was well established in the Mount Vernon community, the Days. I don't know if some of you are familiar with them, but they have moved out. But I was blessed to meet them and become a member of the Mount Vernon community, of which I also was blessed to join Grace Baptist Church and see their interest in making Mount Vernon a better place in all areas. Mount Vernon reached out to the community and got involved in many different things by the leadership of Dr. W. Franklin Richardson. Now, right next to Mount Vernon, right next to the Grace Baptist Church, there was a lot that formerly, because I've seen, I've been here for 30 years, there was an abandoned gas station and a dilapidated warehouse or garage, whatever, and it was unsightly. So the Grace Baptist Church took an interest in this property. You could call it a homegrown endeavor to improve the community by investing in that property and making it something better. They went in and excavated the property, removed the gas station, took out the gas tanks, and tore down the dilapidated warehouse and made it a viable property to develop some type of real estate interest that would bring socioeconomic stability into the south side of Mount Vernon. So that is what I'm here to speak on. Seeing that this property, how it started out where people from the community, that's what I mean by homegrown. It started out with people who are from Mount Vernon, who are middle-class people, hardworking people, who keep the wheels turning in this city, who need to be involved in and not moved out. I see high rises going up, high income properties going up. These are not affordable. for people, but middle income people need affordable housing. And that's why this is such an important project to be fulfilled. So, and I think that if,
Mr. Wilder, if you can finalize.
I would say that this project will bring a lot of benefits into the South Side and level the playing field.
Thank you. Thank you. Enid Hay, I hope I said that right. Enid Hay? Enid? Okay.
Good evening, council member. Mr. President, good evening. My name is Enid Hay. I'm here today talking also on behalf representing the Grace Community Development Cooperation Project. I am also a resident of Mount Vernon. I've been here for over 30 years myself. During this time, I've watched the neighborhood grow and changed. But one of the many challenges in Mount Vernon remain consistent is the increasing need of affordable housing for working families. Over the years, I've seen many hardworking individuals, including myself and family, struggles to find stable housing that they can reasonably afford. These are people who have contributed to our community every day. Our teachers, our care workers, social workers, and parents who want nothing more than a safe and stable place to raise their children. Unfortunately, too many of them, including myself, are being priced out for this very community that we help to sustain. This proposed project by Grace Community Development Cooperation and Grace Baptist Church is designed to address these needs by creating affordable housing for working family. It's not just about building housing unit. It's about strengthening the Southside community where when family have stable homes, children perform better in school. Parents are able to maintain steady employment, and neighborhoods become stronger and more connected. As someone who have lived here for 3 decades, I care deeply about the future of this community. I believe this project is an important step towards ensuring the people who work here, serve here, and raise their family here to continue to call this community home. I respectfully ask for the support of this proposed project because together we can create opportunities for stability, growth, and a stronger future for our residents. Thank you for your time and for your consideration.
Sorry, William Sharif? Al Malik, right?
Good evening, peace and blessings to Council President Mr. Derek Thompson, Brother Derek, and all the other city council members. I've been a resident of Mount Vernon since 1977. And I've driven to taxi cab driver owner for about 20 years. And the taxi cab I've driven in and I own was really wasn't up to par. But I think what it is, as a taxi driver owner, what we need is a line of credit for taxi cabs. New York State and America runs on credit. It's good for someone to have an idealistic high standards for taxi cabs, but I think we need to, we're gonna go down to the city and research what's going on in the city. For other municipalities, I was almost certain they have a line of credit with the city because we are providing an essential service to the people of Mount Vernon, and it's really not really up to par. I'm from Harlem. I come here from Harlem, New York, considered a place where a lot of Blacks lived and worked. And when I lived in Harlem in the sixties and seventies, we had high standards for our neighborhood. And I think we realized, I guess a lot of us coming out from the South, from North Carolina, migrating to New York, right? We had high standards and dignity. Matter of fact, I used to go to school in Harlem, Frederick Douglass Junior High School. We dressed like we was going to work on Wall Street. So I think we as, particularly Black Americans or Blacks in general, should have high standards, but standards should be where we require, let's say taxi drivers or people who want to build houses in our neighborhood, make sure that those who live in those houses or drive those cabs or own those cabs have a line of credit. I mean, it says 100 times. I mean, I was hearing a doctor, highly qualified professional, Dr. Claude Anderson. He was saying, even when white folks came over, they had slaves, they had a line of credit. They was giving free slaves. They even had, they gave them land, their own land, farmland. They had a farmer's bank. So I think we delude ourselves and we disrespect our standards if we don't make things affordable, really affordable, truly affordable. You know, and I think that's the problem we have in Mount Vernon. You know, this is the poorest section of Westchester County. So those in power should really take that into consideration. A credit union, a bank, or something where we can have provide our people, our women, because women spend 80% of the world's wealth, a better riding experience. Not these old raggedy cabs, recycled cabs from New York City fleet. Why? Because New York City yellow cab drivers treated better than Mount Vernon yellow cab drivers. That's not right. Give us a line of credit, and then we can have these great standards some of you city council members for. But I'm guarantee if he's in the construction work, he built houses, but he get a line of credit. That's all I'm saying. As I said, and all these public toilets or parks in Mount Vernon should have a public toilet. I used to walk from where I live on Second Avenue on the South Side all the way to Harley Park with no public toilet. Mothers out there with young children. I was in Harlem years ago, about 5, 6 years ago. I used to live in the St. Nicholas Projects. Guess what? There's a public toilet, park on the corner with a public toilet. Something simple like that. I remember Mayor Thomas was mayor. I used to ask him, how about a public toilet? I happen to know some of his family members. But we got to make Mount Vernon more user-friendly for us. Or, let's face it, I call Mount Vernon the rich man's game. We the Lazarus down. So we got to look out for our people. So act like we don't realize where we come from. You know, there's no big eyes over you. We all just brothers and sisters. And we got to keep that in mind, you know? That's what I'm saying. And I know I got 1 second, I'm gonna get my big peace and blessings. I'm trying to speak from the heart, you know?
Thank you so much. Imani Lawrence? Imani Lawrence, in-house or online? Deveron King? In-house or online? No? Let me go back here. Brenda Johnson? In-house or online? No. David Raish, in-house or online? Nope. Lisa Copeland, no. Imani Lawrence and Deveron King, no. All right. Okay, we'll start with our councilperson's responses. We'll start with Councilwoman Gleason.
Thank you so much. Council President, would you mind if I bring up Ms. Rosario one more time?
Sure.
And Ms. Rosario, there's no back and forth. Okay, so I have 2 questions to ask you. Okay. One of the questions is, does Mount Vernon Police Department still inspect your cabs?
Yes.
Okay. When those cabs are inspected, if there is something unsafe with the cab, are they taken out of commission right then and there
Yes, until it's fixed.
until it's fixed?
Yes.
And then the taxi cab owners have to bring that to the Mount Vernon Police Department to have them re-inspected?
Yes, they have 5 days to do so.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, I just wanted to have clarification with that. It's nice to see you here, Ms. Rosario. I haven't seen you in a couple of years, probably since we saw each other in the gas station, right before you got on the taxi cab commission, right? So I think I'm in agreement with you. I think there has to be further discussion with this piece of legislation, although I do agree that the level of keeping the taxi cabs to a respectful cleanliness and safety is very important. for the city of Mount Vernon, but my brother-in-law actually used to be one of the inspectors of the taxi cabs. So I actually had reached out to get some information on how that actually goes. So I agree that there should be more discussion. I do apologize not being at the meeting today, but we have jobs outside of this and sometimes it's not really easy to hop on a Zoom. And let's see what else. Miss Frank. So you don't have to get up. I just wanted to let you know that I want to defer to Rick Wright, who is on Zoom, okay? And I'm just gonna give Rick a little background that the ladies went to walk on Monday, and we do know that it was daylight savings. And the timer on the lights at Memorial Field were not timed properly to adjust to daylight savings. When it comes,
Hold up, Ms. Frank, no back and forth. It's just a, yes, thank you.
so Rick, are you online?
Yes, I am. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
If we could, yes, we could hear you pretty good.
Okay.
So, our first, I don't know if you were on when Miss Frank was speaking, but she had, they had gone to Memorial Field the other day regarding, getting on the, track and the lights were not on. We understand that that was something with the timer. But the other, things that Miss Frank was talking about is right now, the track not being open on Sundays and not being open on holidays. And quite frankly, one of the people that works there to open up the field, that wasn't a major concern of hers, but if you could just speak to the field issues.
Okay. So one, the field has been closed through the winter, not because we have winter hours. The winter hours start right before the Christmas holidays. And then the winter holidays, we go from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. based on weather. It's all posted. There are signs that tell you based on weather and whatever else other concerns we may have. The winter hours end on Sunday, right? And it's all posted online. The summer hours or spring hours start on Monday from 6 a.m. to 10, and then from 5 to 8 p.m. Now, the very first time we opened since the new year was Monday, right? And daylight savings times was there. So I don't know if anybody got up in the morning. Everybody that got up in the morning got up in a darker place because the hours changed, right? And the hours are changing by the minute. In 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's later, so on and so forth, right? The lighting is adjusted for a reason, to save as much money as possible. All right. Every time we turn the lights on, just turning them on, it costs $300. So it works about $300 an hour. Our electric bill at Memorial Field is $10,000 a month, just in basic usage. So we limit the amount of times that we turn on. Normally, the scoreboard is on, which gives more light, but the scoreboard has some issues in it, and we need to fix it because we have a lot of things going on. So sometimes the scoreboard is left off just because we have to adjust and fix it. As for working, why are we closed? We were closed on Sundays because we have we keep a count of the amount of walkers that come on the morning and the evening. And over the last 2 years, in the wintertime on Sundays, we've had maybe 10 walkers in the course of a full day. And it costs us about, I don't know, in terms of working and staff and all of that. So we save money by being closed for those days during the holidays. We only close on Sundays from Christmas until now, which is how we've normally functioned, right? Next week, we go on spring hours, we're back to regular hours, and Sundays are open, providing we have no activities, providing the weather is fine, providing there are no hazards or anything going on in the stadium. The stadium has been under ice for about 3 to 4 weeks. So we have to go through the stadium. We haven't been able to see the stadium. So just to open up and to just like everything was good, we haven't been able to prepare the stadium and set it up for people to come in. So that's why. Holidays, well, it's time and a half. It's time and a half for every staffer that works on a holiday. Okay, so we are in a budget crunch. We are forced to try to find ways of saving money, right? So, and our staff needs holidays just as well. So, the opening for the walk, the morning walk and the evening walk, is a courtesy from the department that we do to try to keep, our community healthy, and we do the best we can with it. It is not, I'm sorry.
Sorry, finish your
Yeah, I'm
thought,
just
Rick,
saying
sorry.
it's something that we do, and we try our best to provide as much as we can for the community, but we have to do it within reason so that it doesn't cost us extra money. If I have my staffer come in at 5 o'clock, he now is creating a brand new shift. He gets time and a half, and 10 hours. All of these are the reasons why. So it's not just arbitrarily that we choose to close. It's not just we choosing to do anything to anybody in particular. In 1 week, it will be light at 6 o'clock in the morning as the sun is moving and as we're adjusting. And that's why we adjust our hours in the winter, and that's why we adjust our hours in the spring.
All right, thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate you being online to explain it. Thank you. But there was other parts to what you were speaking about, Ms. Frank, and I don't think it's acceptable for anybody in the office to tell you to come later or what have you. But the commissioner's here. She heard what you had to say, so I'm sure she's going to address that in her office and how to customer service, especially being paramount to every department here in the city of Mount Vernon. I just want to address Mr. Robinson, Mr. Watler, and Ms. Hay. Thank you so much for being here. I think your words were very insightful, and that's something that we're looking into, and that's why Grace is before us for us to become lead agency, to see if this application would be viable here for the city of Mount Vernon. We're just at the start of the application process by declaring lead agency, if the body so votes to do so. But I think it was really important. Your testimony was very important to me, at least, because I feel like the middle income, exactly what you said, Mr. Robinson, is that the middle income sometimes gets forgotten. And so I thank you very much for taking your time out tonight to be here to address us. And thank you, Mr. Sharif. We appreciate your testimony. That was very important. Firsthand is always better for us to hear. And that is all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Turnquist Jones.
Wilma, what time do you walk? 6 o'clock? Is Okay. I just want you to know that the commissioner is back there, so maybe you should have a chat with her. She's really cool. Thank you. Taxi cab, everybody in the house. I don't know if I ever shared this, but in 1978, when I was 9 years old, that's when my mom and dad purchased the home that I and my husband purchased from them. And in 1980, my father was laid off from Ford Motor Company because Ford Motor Company closed their plant in Metuchen, New Jersey, and they offered everyone to move to Detroit. And so that wasn't an answer. And so my dad left home with his car being blue, and he came back with his car being yellow. And it was called Vic's Taxi Cab, and the medallion number is 101. And my dad is still alive. He is 91 years old. And he and my mom put my brother and I through college cash. So we are here to make sure that the taxi cab drivers are on point here in Mount Vernon. So thank you. Robinson, Walter, and Hay. We agree in the aspects of making sure that housing is available to our middle class and that the area medium income is questioned, and that when we are sitting before Grace, that we are leaning on planning with recommendations to make sure that we are able to keep residents of Mount Vernon in Mount Vernon. We have residents who have to leave Mount Vernon because their income isn't able to afford what is here. And in the meantime, in between time, also attract people to come to Mount Vernon. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Wallace.
Thank you, Council President. Ms. Rosario, can you please step back up? Council President, my council colleague mentioned that they do the inspections. That I know the police department does. Okay, they do not put it on a rack, am I correct?
Correct.
They just come out and do an eye inspection and walk around the car, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's a partial site walk around inspection, correct? Okay, so brakes could be bad, shocks could be bad, all kind of parts of the car could be bad. They wouldn't see it because they're just looking around, walking around, correct? Okay. That I just wanted to make sure that's on the record too, that it's not a full detail inspection, because I've met with the police several times and they actually want this legislation. And I sat with them about it as well. I'm talking, ma'am, there's no back and forth.
I wasn't allowed
But
to talk, I'm sorry.
No.
yeah. And regarding the taxi cabs, I know there's a lot of older taxi cabs here. The standards mostly, even New York City and many places, is cabs not being older than 10 years old. Uber drivers and Uber cabs and all that stuff have a little bit more. They go up to 16 years, correct? Okay. When I went through all of these different things and looked at it, I did speak to many people. This is not the beginning of where this was. We have been trying to upgrade this cab situation in Mount Vernon for over a decade. And we've always got the pushback because no one wants to get newer cabs, no one want to do these things. As far as when it comes to answering your questions, I'm going to answer those for you. Putting the advertisement on top of the cabs is to help cab drivers who own those cabs. You get the money. There's only a $50 fee that you have to register with the clerk's office for the cab piece. Whatever advertising you put on there, or if you join up with one of the advertising companies and all to put that on your cab to drive around, that money goes to the driver and the owner. So that was just to answer your question with that particular thing. It's another source of revenue for you guys. Also, I never got your email, and I apologize for that because my emails at that point were not coming through. I was actually getting my emails from Councilwoman Gleason, who would forward them to me. But I now have everything in place, so I would be happy to meet with you guys anytime. That's not a problem whatsoever. And when it comes to public safety and all, we had meetings with the police department as far as with the legal department. We went through all of those things. That's going to be in a second stage of what's going to happen because Corporation Counsel, myself, and the rest of the law department have already discussed that to make sure that it's very fair and that everyone has an opportunity to drive a cab. There is going to be other places, just like the gentleman there was talking about working on line of credit and all. I will be able to sit down with you guys and give you several different people that you can talk to about that, because I know that's an important thing, especially about getting new cabs and financing them. Okay, so we do have a way, and I'm not looking at buying New York City's old cabs because that's what everybody does in Mount Vernon. When those cabs go out of business, we pick them up and we put them into business because there's a restriction on New York City, correct?
Correct, 5 years.
Oh, okay, so we're doing 10 years and we're giving everybody a time to upgrade on these particular things. So these are, if you have other questions, when we get a chance to meet, I go through all those questions. And when it comes down to meters, yes, I did go to many other countries. I went to all over the place. You can put meters in there. You can choose to have it or you should choose not to have it. But when you want to drive to the airport, to Queens, to Brooklyn, to wherever you want to do or whatever it is, we're working on that Uber Lyft option as well, tied into these things that can make it better. When I had, this goes way back, even our old former mayor, Richard Thomas, were trying to upgrade the taxi cabs as well. And we talked about it back then, and we even brought a taxi cab. I've even brought, Fernando Mateo here, who is going to help and sit down with the Taxi Cab Commission, and he does all of New York City and around taxi cabs to help develop all of that to get those cabs that is needed. So I did not think this through without a way to make sure that this gentleman and yours and everybody else's, let me say it like this, concerns of how to operate would not be addressed in many different ways.
Okay.
All right? So that's all I have to say about that. There's no real back and forth. And the
Council President,
I'm sorry.
there was something that Ms. Rosario was saying when it came to the inspection. I'd like to hear what she has to say regarding it.
Okay, so understand,
Go ahead, say it, because.
am I allowed to speak?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, because Councilwoman
So-
said you are.
I understand that the police department in Mount Vernon looks around the car and does their inspection, but in order for that car to roll on the road, even for a year, New York State has to put a little sticker on the windshield for safety reasons. And if that car doesn't pass a New York State inspection, then that means that the car is not safe to be driven, period. That means your car, your car, your car, and my car, and all the cabs. So it's not just the fact that that Mount Vernon does an inspection and they go around and they look, but you can't even get plates without an inspection sticker. Thank you.
And let me
Thank you.
just.
Hold on, we have Wallace
Let
finish.
me just finish and answer that. But there are many people out here, you could pay 50 or 80 bucks and they'll slap a sticker on there. Because I've seen many cabs driving around the city in bad shape. And I know they did those kind of things. But that's, my council colleague has a different point of view on it. But that's all I have to say, and I will see you at your next meeting.
Second
Okay,
Wednesday.
next.
Thank you.
I have also going back to, let me go to Grace also, because I guess the gentleman left. I think his name was, was it Zachary or, well, the gentleman that left, well, all of the Grace people left. When it comes to affordability, affordable housing, we have about 500 units going up in Mount Vernon right now. We have about 315 down the bottom of McQuestion Parkway and 2 more buildings being built on McQuestion Parkway and Mount Vernon Avenue. So there is going to be plenty of affordable housing. What we're missing is, and he made my point for the next gentleman that is here, McQuestion. We don't need to continue with affordable housing for people to be renters so that other people can make money. We need our people of Mount Vernon that you're talking about that's fleeing the opportunity to own something and to create generational wealth. Because, going back to even taxi cabs, if you did own one of these apartments and all, and one of these condominiums, that becomes your bank. That becomes the money where you say if that you bought it for $300,000 and it's paid off, that means you have $300,000 in credit that you could borrow against to buy yourself a new cab or whatever you want to do. But it constantly increases. I remember my mother bought a house when we were young. Okay, when she bought that house, it was $119,000. My other brother, we still has the house, but the house is worth $700 and something thousand now. So it grows. The problem that we have with our community is that we don't create this generational wealth. And this is important to me. And just like I spoke to McQuestion, I don't have a problem with these projects. Okay, I have a problem with the ones that are not benefiting the people of our community. I have a problem when it doesn't pay the taxes. We cannot afford to pay for it. We cannot afford to continue with pilot programs and additional fees that's going to be put on the taxpayers to pay for it. This is why I'm so anal about getting a written piece of paper and document. However, corporate counsel said he sits on IDA, he heard it 3 times, and that's why I'm okay with it. But the bottom line is we have to start thinking smart and changing our way, because if you can pay $2,000 rent, you can pay to buy one of these and own it and have money and have generational wealth. So the reason that I'm not worried about or concerned with Grace's project is because it's going to need a pilot. It's going to need money from the city that we don't have. We can't afford to pay for it. And it's not bringing in that type of ownership that we're looking for to offset all the rest of the taxpayers. So this is what we need. The more taxpayers we have in the pool, the better. Because right now, 88% of our taxes is paid by the homeowners. About 12% is paid by business because we don't have any. But if you go to New York City, you can see the difference. It's reversed because it's easy to go knock on doors on Monday Lane, and you'll see the houses across the street on the New York City side, their taxes is $3,500, $4,000. And the same house on the other side of the street is $16,000, $20,000. That tells you something. We have to start thinking smarter and stop working harder to get nowhere. I'm not here and I didn't run to try to just do the same thing that we're doing, because let me tell you something, it doesn't work. And how I know this, look at where we are 20 years later. We're in the same place, and we're even in a worse position than we were before. You know, if we continue this, we continue to go bankrupt. And we're going to hit that mark if we don't change how we play this game. We have to get in this to win it. And I'm not looking at it any different than anybody else that want to move up and want to grow in this city. I am for everybody in this city becoming prosperous. I want to see everybody be prosperous in this city. And that is why my thought process on changing this context of how this city operates, because it is the context that dictates the content in which it incumbents. So saying in another way, if we took baseball players and put them on a football field, which is the context, they will play football, not baseball. If we lift our community, okay, and make it better, people become a product of their environment. This is why we want to see owners. This is why we want to see better, because we are better. And I know a lot of people get mad at me, and I'm not worried about that at all, because I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make you guys millionaires, better, and everything that you can possibly be. That is why I am very strict with what I do sitting here and very detailed. So that goes for that with Grace. And regarding the Memorial Field walk around and the lights, I do understand we are on a austerity budget and we really don't have no money, but you know, I was gonna make a joke and say I'll give you a flashlight, but people might think it's real. But I'm gonna leave that to my council colleague, because she is in charge of that department. But I'm sure that the commissioner and deputy commissioner and others already explained that with daylight saving time and the cost analysis that they're doing to see what's beneficial to everybody having the open space and what it costs for the city so that we don't go broke. So I get that. And hopefully they'll find the right balance to work it out for everybody to be happy. All right. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Boxell.
Thank you for those who are still remaining. It's been a long night. I'm gonna try to keep it really brief. Wilma Frank, I think everyone spoke about the Memorial Field that's been addressed. Francine Rosario. sorry about missing the meeting, but I do not know as much about taxi cab commission, and you have enlightened me about a lot of stuff just now. And I guess the goal of this legislation is to promote safety, essentially. And I don't want to have a rule too stringent that it's going to be, you know, too restrictive on our drivers that's going to put them out of business if their cabs are actually safe. So we want to look at a balance. So I'm willing to revisit this and be present at the meetings going forward. So I'm willing to hold off on my vote today. We had a couple of people speak about Grace Baptist Church, our partner here in the city of Mount Vernon. So I guess being the finance chair, I just have to look at the numbers and the project presented as is. And I do agree with Zachary Robinson. He didn't even mention the project. He just said there's a need for housing, not too low, where if you're working, you can't afford it, or not too high where you're working and you can't afford it, right? So some middle income and middle workers. And I mean, that's essential for the structure of our city. That's what we want. And 60% AMI is what was presented for the Grace Project. And what does that really mean? Household of two, it averages out to $80,000. So, I mean, there's different ways to come up with a household makeup. It could be two people, could be a couple, could be one person and a child. But let's say two people, for example. Two people making anything over $40,000, they wouldn't qualify for this housing. So I'm not sure if that's the middle income that we're referring to or the folks that so I mean, let's break it down even further. Currently, New York State, our minimum wage income is $17 an hour. So if we price that out yearly, that roughly works out to be $35,000 a year. So if you make anything over minimum wage, you wouldn't qualify for this housing. So I'm not sure if that is the type of housing that everyone that got up to speak was referring to, because they said middle income workers, and that's on the real lower scale. So I'm not saying that that's not what they wanted, but that's not what they described, right? So, and that's what the numbers say. So 35,000 a year, that is minimum wage in this neighborhood, right? Anything over 40,000 a year would price you out of a 60% AMI if you're a couple of two, right? So let's just be clear about the facts and what we're asking for and what's being presented. Let's see, anyone else? I think that's the only thing I wanted to address tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everyone, you've heard from all of our council persons. I just had one last thing to input in regards to the taxi commission. I know the police inspect your vehicles, but it is true that you have to have a New York State inspection, as all cars do. For instance, I currently drive a 2017 car that has to be inspected every single year. And I just hit 40,000 miles on my car. So I'm not going to turn my car on until the wheels fall off, as the young people say, ride until the wheels fall off. But I think I'll need to talk to Corporation Counsel and my counterparts here. Maybe we can designate a specific shop that they have to go and get these New York inspections to prevent something like Wallace said, where you can pay $50 to get an inspection sticker, because it does happen throughout this state and other states. So if we designated one shop, that specific shop that every taxi cab has to go and get their inspections, I think that would be feasible and open more doors for the safety, because safety first, for the safety of our residents, as well as for the safety of our taxi drivers. In regards to Memorial Field is not the field of yesterday. When I was a kid, it was a dirt field, and it looked nothing like what we have now. It's a multi-million-dollar development. So when you see that you can't wear high heels and things like that, that's for when they do events and things of that nature. It is a turf field, and it has to be protected. So if we do something that disregards what our agreement is and our protections, we don't want to forfeit anything that's going to cost the city. So we have to have those things in place. In regards to the lights, I know, Rick Wright already spoke about it. But I know, our commissioner will speak to whomever, because disrespect is not tolerated anywhere. So we just got to make sure if it happened, we want to make sure that we address it. And also we never know what people are going through. That's why I always try to urge everyone to be kind to one another, because you never know what state of mind they're in, but it all ends with a conversation, starts and ends with a conversation. So, I know our commissioner will converse with those, who were participating in that. I think everything else is covered. Before we move on, I do want to encourage the residents of Mount Vernon to, just be patient with the city. We know that, this was a rough winter. And, there are several potholes in and throughout the city, even on the roads that were already redone. But just be patient, because anytime you have cold weather and salt and snow and things of that nature, it causes the ground to crumble a little bit. So just be patient. Department is on it. Everything is not going to fix overnight. We're coming out of our cold season, and in road work, you really don't do in the winter season. You have to wait for the weather to break to get that work done, okay? So just be patient with the city, and as long as we continue to collaborate together, we'll get the jobs done. Thank you so much. All right, moving right along, we're gonna go into our agenda, a tally sheet here.
Council President, can we just have like 30 seconds? I just need to speak to Corporation Council real quick, if that's okay.
Sure,
Thanks.
we're timing you. And we apologize for it being a long meeting tonight, but sometimes you have to hash out things that have to be hashed out, so we apologize for the long wait. So our tally sheet, we're starting with legislation and public works.
Okay, our tally sheets. Item number 1, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of installation of 4 post lift. Sorry. A 4-post lift for the Canal Street Garage. That's on the agenda. Item number 2, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing a budget transfer within the highway maintenance budget for emergency repairs. That's on the agenda. Item number 3, Public Works, thank you. Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the declaration of an emergency condition concerning the traffic signal infrastructure at the intersections of West Broad Street at Fleetwood Avenue and West Broad Street at North Terrace Avenue. Item number 4 on the agenda, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a master services agreement with Arcadis of New York, Inc. for uninterrupted consent order compliance services. That is on the agenda. Item number 5, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the award of contract to West Shore Trucking for the removal and lawful disposal of construction and demolition debris at 33 Canal Street. That's on the agenda. Item number 6, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing change order number 1 for sewer rehabilitation, Phase 1, Project 222022-2 on the agenda. Item number 7, City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing attendance for the senior account clerk at the 2026 Open Gov Conference and certification training. That is on the agenda. Item number 8, City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing attendance at the New York Conference of Mayors Fall Training, September 13th to September 18th, 2026. That's on the agenda. Item number 9, an ordinance authorizing the city clerk, an ordinance authorizing the city clerk to attend the 2026 Summer International Institute of Municipal Clerks IIMC Education Program, July 13th to the 16th with scholarship money paid. Item number 10, a city clerk. A resolution expressing appreciation for the governor's 30-day amendments, providing additional temporary municipal assistance and urging its inclusion in the final state budget. I believe that is all, and that is on
Yes.
the agenda. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Human Resources, Turnquist Jones.
Thank you. Item number 11A, Recreation, Department of Recreation and Ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to sponsor and conduct the annual Easter egg hunt celebration at Hartley Park, Saturday, March 28th, 2026, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. with a rain date of Saturday, April 4th, 2026. That's on the agenda. Item number 12A, Youth Bureau, Department of Recreation and Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing continued co-sponsorship between Mount Vernon Recreation Department, Youth Bureau, and Friends of Mount Vernon Arts, Recreation, and Youth Bureau Programs, Inc., for community programming and special events. That's on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Safety and Codes, Wallace.
Thank you. I have an ordinance amending chapter 237 taxi cab of the code of the city of Mount Vernon to promote safety and establish new regulations for registered Class A taxi cabs operating within the city. That is on the agenda. That's all I have.
Thank you. Finance and Planning, Box Hill.
I'm sorry, 13, everyone was prepared to vote on that now? Did you say that you weren't gonna vote now? On 13, did you say you were gonna vote? Because I said I wasn't ready yet.
No, I'm not voting for this because I feel like there should be further discussion. I'd rather, honestly, I'd rather it not fail. I'd rather hold it on the floor if Councilman Wallace would, so that he
That's
can
what I
have
was going
further
towards.
discussions.
I was just polling the rest of the council folks. Is everyone ready to vote now, or did we want to hold this until?
That's, well, the chair is Wallace, so what is his pleasure? Do you want to hold it? Or do you want to see if it gets voted up or
Well,
down?
I said I wasn't, Caitlin said, so I just wanted to know if anybody else, so I wanted more time, yes.
Okay, so you need more time.
I'm not-
Anybody else needs more time?
I don't need more time, but I'm not gonna vote in favor of it, so I don't want, if it gets voted down, then it'll be presented differently. But if you hold it in it, or call for it, or whatever hold it, so it's reviewed, and then, that's to the pleasure of you.
I'm in agreement with Derek. I mean, in its current format, yeah, I would probably vote it down, so.
Okay, so we'll call for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll
So
just
if you
hold
call
on-
for it,
hold
it's
on
gonna
the
be
floor.
on the next
We'll hold it
meeting
on
to
the
be,
floor.
so if you hold it, so what's your
He's
pleasure?
gonna call for it, so this way he has, the colleagues have enough time to look.
Okay, so 13 clerk is gonna be called for.
And
He said called for the next meeting, so if calling for it means it's gonna be on the next meeting of this month to be voted on.
Don't we,
Everyone understands that?
don't we have to hold it on the floor?
No, you don't.
Because it's on the agenda. So we have to hold it on the floor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, all right. So it has to be held and then represented,
Because it's
so.
on the agenda, it has to be held. It would have, if you would have had to call for it on Monday.
Right, because this action would have to take place on the work session, so if it already made it to the tally for today, it would have to be held, and then,
Okay, you wanna hold it?
all
Hold
right.
it.
Okay,
Madam Clerk,
13
can you
is held.
explain that to the public so that they don't have to wait around if they don't feel like waiting around?
Sure, just to express, this item is not going to be voted on today. It is held. It is up to the Chair of Public Safety and Codes to let the clerk know when to put it back on agenda. So it's not going to be voted on tonight.
Okay. Continue finance and planning, Box Hill.
Thank you. Number 14, an ordinance certifying the 2024 in-rem foreclosure listing and authorizing the controller to proceed with the in-rem foreclosure proceedings. That's on the agenda. 15 from the Real Estate Committee, an ordinance rescinding the prior recommendation for sale of city-owned property located at 234 East Fifth Street. That's on the agenda. 16, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon declaring itself lead agency for a petition seeking zoning text and map amendments related land use approvals by Grace Baptist Church. That's on the agenda. 17, an ordinance authorizing return of escrow funds for 256 to 260 East Third Street. That's on the agenda. 18, a resolution of City Council, the City of Mount Vernon declaring its intent to serve as lead agency under pursuant to SECRA for expedited review of the application of McQuestion Station Takeover LLC for the Station Plaza project and referring the application to the Westchester County Planning Board. That's on the agenda. 19, an ordinance authorizing the controller to establish a custodial account for Station Plaza Development Project 20 Southwest Street. That's on the agenda.
Thank you. That's our tally sheet. Let's have a roll call for our agenda. Okay.
Sorry, wasn't big. Give me 1 second, I apologize. Roll call. Councilmember Box Hill?
Present.
Councilmember Gleason?
Here.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones?
Present.
Councilmember Wallace?
Here.
Council President Thompson?
Here. Now we have the quorum here. So now everything that we just put on the agenda will be voted on now, okay? We're going to legislation, public works. Gleason?
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Council President. Okay. Item number 1. Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the purchase and installation of a 4-post lift for the Canal Street Garage. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill?
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason?
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace?
Aye.
Council President Thompson?
Aye.
Item number 2, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing a budget transfer within the highway maintenance budget for emergency repairs. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill?
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason?
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace?
Aye.
Council President Thompson?
Aye.
Okay, item number 3. Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the declaration of an emergency condition concerning the traffic signal infrastructure at the intersections of West Broad Street at Fleetwood Avenue and West Broad Street at North Terrace Avenue. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Yeah, quick question.
Wallace?
Those areas that's gonna be done, that's going to be done by the building with the escrow funds of, they're paying for it?
Yes.
And that's going to just be those, it just covers all of the sections around that building.
No, there are further intersections that I'm looking into that were included in the agreement. Those are just the emergency ones right now that are not working whatsoever. But there's further intersections that were included with the agreement for 42 Broad. Is that what you mean?
Okay, so there is further ones
Yes.
outside of just those.
Yeah.
This is
It's to
emergency.
the original agreement.
Do you know what those are? Any of them? Or you haven't-
I don't want to, I remember, but I'd like to see it on paper first. I want to say it's a block south and even closer to Locust down that way, but I'd rather look at it and give it to you.
Okay,
All
thank you.
right? Those were just the immediate ones that we have been getting, we had gotten several complaints about that intersection there.
Mhm. Right. That's immediate work because it's very dark over there and needs some work to be done. Anything else on the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill?
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason?
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace?
Aye.
Council President Thompson?
Aye.
Item number 4, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a master services agreement with Arcadis of New York for uninterrupted consent order compliance services. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Item number 5, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing the award of a contract to West Shore Trucking for the removal and lawful disposal of construction and demolition debris at 33 Canal Street. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Item number 6, Department of Public Works, an ordinance authorizing change order number 1 for sewer rehabilitation Phase 1, Project 222022-2. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Item number 7, City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing attendance for the Senior Account Clerk at the 2026 Open Gov Conference and Certification Training, April 26th through May 1st. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
I just wanted to say that this had gone to the Board of Estimate and Contract because we're in an austerity budget, and it was approved by the Board of Estimate and Contract as necessary.
Mhm. And also on the question, I'll be presenting legislation for our next meeting in regards to training, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Roll call?
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Item number 8, City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing attendance at the pardon me, let me start over. City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing attendance at the New York Conference of Mayors, NICOM Fall Training, September 13th to September 18th. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Sure.
This also went to the Board of Estimate and Contract, and because we're in an austerity budget, it was approved to go forward. Thank you.
Okay, anything else on the question? Roll call?
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Just a quick question. NICOM, the May meeting, we approved one person to go to that, or did any
No, we
put
did-
in
we-
for that?
No.
No,
it-
Andre and I said that we're gonna go, but both of us are paying our way.
Okay.
We wanted
They
the
discussed that on
date.
Monday.
We
it
just
was
wanted to
the
get a
date.
date
Have to
for a
do
change.
Legislation for that, correct?
Right.
Right, they
Just-
wanted us to entertain actually changing the meeting.
Okay.
On- yeah.
But we're not, I don't think it's best for us to change the meeting, so if, you two or one of you two can log on, Zoom in
I
during the
think
meeting.
Why is it difficult to change the meeting?
It's not difficult to change the meeting, but as per our charter, changing a, work session is one thing, but changing the actual city council meeting, we can't do that unless it was a disaster, natural disaster or something like that, that would cause us to change the meeting. But as far as us not being able to attend the meeting, that's why we change it. We can't do that.
It's not about changing the meeting or anything. It's just moving the date up one day.
That's changing the
I
meeting,
get it, but
Wallace.
but I get it, but substituting the date, where does it say?
Yeah, we can't substitute the date. When you speak to NICOM, we can't substitute the date unless there was a natural disaster or something that came about where it would force us to change the date. You know,
Okay.
so unfortunately, hopefully, our council persons who attend NICOM can Zoom in. Yeah,
I could be on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
that's why they give us the calendar. I'm sorry, that's why they give us the calendar, so we have to stick to the program. Unless there, like I said, there was a natural disaster, then we would notify the public why that calendar has changed. So I just had to look it up and, I want to share it with everyone. All right? Thank you.
Okay. May I continue?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 9, city clerk, an ordinance authorizing the city clerk to attend the 2026 Summer International Institute of Municipal Clerks Education Program, July 13th to the 16th. So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Again, the cost of this is covered by scholarship and was already approved at the Board of Estimate and Contract because of us being in an austerity budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else on the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquist Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Item number 10, City Council, a resolution expressing appreciation for the governor's 30-day amendments, providing additional temporary municipal assistance and urging its inclusion in the final state budget. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquist Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
That is all I have.
Thank you. Legislation and Public Works, Human Resources, Turnquist Jones.
Thank you, President. Item number 11A, Recreation, Department of Recreation, an ordinance authorizing the Department of Recreation to sponsor and conduct the annual Easter egg hunt celebration at Harley Park, Saturday, March 28th, 2026, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. with a rain date of Saturday, April 4th, 2026. So moved.
On
Second.
the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquist Jones.
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
Item number 12, A, Youth Bureau, Department of Recreation and Youth Bureau, an ordinance authorizing continued co-sponsorship between the Mount Vernon Recreation Department, Youth Bureau, and Friends of Mount Vernon Arts Recreation and Youth Program, Inc., for community programming and special events. So move.
Second.
On the question? On the question, thank you, Youth Bureau, and as well as the Recreation Department for all you do for the city and continue to do. Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquist Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye. Public Safety and Code, if you just say what the action is on your agenda item.
Yes, ordinance amending 237 taxi cab codes of the city of Mount Vernon to promote public safety and establish new regulations for registered Class A taxi cabs operating within the city that'll be held.
Thank you. Finance and Planning, Box Hill.
Yep. Number 14, an ordinance certifying the 2024 NREM foreclosure listing and authorizing the controller to proceed with NREM foreclosure proceedings. That is, so moved.
Second.
On the question?
I just want to make
Aye.
sure that my question was addressed. Everything, they double checked the list, everything is 100%?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquist Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
All right, 15, an ordinance rescinding the prior recommendation for the sale of city-owned property located at 234 East Fifth Street. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquist Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
All right, 16, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon declaring itself lead agency for a petition seeking zoning text and map amendments and related land use approvals by Grace Baptist Church. So moved.
Second.
On the
Council-
question?
I'm sorry, Council President.
Hold on,
if I can be
we
heard?
can't have any rebuttals now. We're just doing our legislative part.
Okay, it's, okay. I'm just here on behalf of the applicant, so.
Yeah, so, right now we're in the voting process, so
Okay.
thank you so much. I'm sorry. On the question, councilpersons? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Nay.
Councilmember Gleason, Councilmember Turnquist Jones,
Turnquist,
I have a question.
you need something answered? Or who do you need to answer, land use attorney or who?
I have a question in the aspects of, say it again.
Number 16, we're on. So
In-
you have,
Clause 16.
what's your question? And then we can have the land use attorney answer.
I just want to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our medium income residents here in Mount Vernon and outside of Mount Vernon.
Brad, if you can.
That's a what?
So you want him to talk to the AMI?
Yeah.
So I'll take a stab at this, and I think Diana may also weigh in if that's permissible.
Okay.
So, Ms. Turnquist Jones, I can't answer about meeting the housing needs specifically and the AMI. What I could tell you is that kind of a discussion about the appropriate AMI for the project and at what level, that's something that the council can discuss during the process, during the secret process. So, right, it's not for me to opine on the suitability of the current proposal, but what's being proposed is something to be studied and evaluated during the normal secret process. There will be back and forth discussion with the applicant. Perhaps the AMIs get adjusted in response to council comments. So I'm not going to answer you substantively because that's not for me to opine on, but I could tell you that the process is set up and built. The secret process is to have exactly that kind of discourse with the applicant, where you could challenge and question what's being proposed, see how they respond, and maybe the project evolves a little bit. So by the council declaring lead agency status, it starts that secret process and allows those conversations to unfold, again, like I mentioned earlier, without promising or guaranteeing anything.
Thank you, Brad. Just to clarify, so I mean, on its face, to answer Turnquist Jones' question, in my opinion, it is deficient of the needs of the citizens of Mount Vernon, which I elaborated on earlier. So this is why I would have to vote no, because although I'm open to discussion and maybe a different version of this document, but on its face, I think it's deficient. So why even proceed at this point? That's my reason for voting no.
If you can speak for clarification.
Yes, thank you. So Janet Garris from our firm, Dalbello, Donnell Weingarten, was here in February, and I believe she went through this, that the range, it's a range of affordability of 40% to 90% of AMI. So, and I believe that there was a breakdown provided to the council of the different rents. So it is an average of 60%, but it is a range of affordability. So, and again, just confirming what was said earlier, which is this action tonight is simply to take lead agency to commence the secret review process. I believe that in October it was circulated, and we have been waiting. I'm sorry, not in October. I believe it was, yeah. So we've just been waiting for the board to take that action. So.
While we're on the question, may I ask a question also? I believe they had saying this project is going to need a pilot. Is that correct?
I mean, that is something that I can answer as part of the review process. I just, like, as I mentioned.
I can answer that for you. At the last meeting, it was an affirmative yes, that you needed a pilot. That was the answer when it was asked at the last meeting. Let's be consistent.
Correct.
So if what you're asking for is a study of the economic impacts of that.
No, I'm not
that-
asking that. I'm just asking, is there going to be a pilot request?
Right, so if there is in fact going to be a pilot, which is likely, then we can provide a study as part of SECRA of how that impacts how that impacts economically on the city. So that's something that we can do as part of the study under
So
SECRA.
are you saying it's just going to determine which pilot you get?
I cannot speak to that. As I mentioned, it's part of the study under SECRA. So
Okay.
that's
the
that's
last-
what we're asking the council to do, is just to start the process. Because there have been no objections to lead agency. So you circulated lead agency, which is coordinated review, and I'm sure Brad can speak to that. And it was circulated. There was no objection. Somebody has to lead the SECRA review process.
Right, and,
My
and
la-
and the
my
thing with,
last-
and the thing with, the councilman, the councilmen who are speaking is that the reason why we're asking in depth like this is because we should we should be a part of it, and that if there is a pilot, that we should be able to conduct or decide on what kind of pilot that should be. We should have a sit down in that aspect, because Mount Vernon does not, we no longer want to be the definition of insanity.
Well,
Doing the same thing
right.
over and over again, expecting a different result.
Right, well, once
and-
again, we don't have any, the council doesn't have any purview over pilots, but we can, ask, like, present suggestions and things of that nature or questions. But, if Brad can clarify.
Hold on, I wasn't finished with my last question with her before I was
Sorry.
cut off.
Okay, we just
My
wanna,
last-
let,
my last
let,
question,
go ahead.
well, my last question was, you had spoken to your colleague and you're here to represent your colleague. So your colleague did not tell you that when they were here the last time, they said that this project will definitely need a pilot? They did not discuss that at all with you?
So again, she's unfortunately was not unable to be here tonight, and she's very familiar with this project and everything that is proposed. As I understood, tonight's agenda was just on lead agency designation. And so we will be happy, once the council makes that determination, to provide additional information, which is part of, I believe there was going to be a part 3 of an environmental assessment form that we were going to
That's not
provide.
the question
as
I'm
part of that.
asking, ma'am.
Okay.
That's not the question. The straight question is, did or did not your colleague inform you, because you're here on the behalf of your colleague, okay? Did they not inform you that the last time they were here, they said that this project will definitely need a pilot to move forward? Was that not discussed with you, or was that you, or you're not?
I'm
to
just
any of that
going to tell you right now, I am not familiar with the terms of the pilot, or if there
I
would be a
didn't
pilot.
I didn't ask you that because we didn't discuss the terms of the pilot.
Right.
I'm asking you a specific question and I'm looking for a specific answer. And that is most likely a yes or no.
We
Did you know or anything about it? Because your colleagues were here the last time and they said that this, and I'm not crazy, they said that this building, this project will definitely need a pilot. So you are here representing them,
Yes,
okay, in their absence.
yes.
And you're telling me that you did not know this at all? Is
I-
that what you're saying?
What was said at the last meeting is what stands. There has been no change. So that's all I can say.
Okay, so that's a yes. Thank you.
Brad, if you can clarify,
So two things, and again, all I'm trying to do is just lay out the facts about the process. Is for you obviously all to make the decision. With respect to the pilot, since we were just on that topic, remember, the IDA has jurisdiction over the pilot. The city council does not vote on any pilots. What the city's council's role is, as part of potentially serving as the agency for the secret process, it is to compile again and require the applicant to submit all the necessary information. Socioeconomic and fiscal is part of SECRA. So what your board has done in the past, for example, with Library Square, has been to require an applicant to study a project with and without a pilot. So as lead agency, you compile all the data. Ultimately, it's for the IDA to vote on the pilot itself. So just want to clarify the different roles and jurisdiction of the city council as a lead agency for secret purposes as compared to the IDA, who has jurisdiction over the pilot itself.
So can I ask you one question,
Do
Brad?
I get to answer a
And-
question?
Hold on, right?
Wa-
Let Wallace and then you go.
That's like
Go ahead.
15 minutes ago.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Regarding that, so you're saying because, and I want everybody to be clear and the people watching to be clear as well. So
Yep.
that's why I'm asking this question. I know the council have no say on pilots whatsoever. That comes from the IDA, which is controlled by the mayor's branch, correct? So the council could say no pilot or whatever, and we can consider that and say we don't like that or whatever. But at the end of the day, if the IDA says we're going to give it to them anyway, they can do that, correct?
Correct. The
Thank
council
you.
can make recommendations to the IDA,
And
just like any other agency can give it
Correct.
input.
And even if we made a recommendation and we all said we don't want pilots, the IDA could say, that's okay, we're still going to do it, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other,
There's one other, just to go
mhm.
back to Cynthia, to your question, right, about the AMI. If at the end of the process, right, you're still uncomfortable with the AMI, then you can vote on the application at that point, negative, right? So you're not, again, making any votes tonight substantively on the AMIs as currently proposed. That will be discussed during the process, and maybe they evolve, maybe they don't. But ultimately, at the end of the process, there will come a time when the council would be positioned to vote. And depending upon what the AMIs are at that moment in time, then your council would make a vote at that point. So again, tonight, if the council decides to accept lead agency status, you're not making any decisions or committing yourself any which way to what the ultimate AMIs would be. And even then, ultimately, it's still for the IDA to make that final decision, right?
That's correct.
Right, the AMIs that you would be asking the applicant to study, again, to compile the information, so that way the IDA has that documentation to make its decision.
And also, while the community is watching, and I know Gleason, you had a question as well, but as the community is watching, I don't want us to be afraid when we hear the word pilot. Yes, pilot is payment in lieu of taxes. However, it also determines how the pilot is being paid by the needs of the community. So all pilots are not low. Some can be higher than what the standard is. You know.
And just
can
as
be-
a matter of law, the pilot needs to be sized sufficient to cover whatever additional municipal expenses are result from the project. So again, for the IDA and its council to help and consultants to size the pilot appropriately to ensure that all municipal services can be covered. A pilot's not going to result, for example, in a net loss for the city.
Correct.
I have one last question. but
Hold on,
Council- Councilwoman
Gleason had
would-
one
yes,
more.
I know.
Yeah,
Would
go
you
ahead.
like to go first?
You good? Okay, go ahead, Wallace.
I just want to reiterate one last time, Brad, no matter what the council says or what we vote, the IDA can still grant the pilot.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Gleason?
So after the secret process and after, because the AMIs can be adjusted from what they stand right now, this was just the initial presentation. They could be adjusted going forward, correct? Okay. Once they leave the approval of the council, let's say it gets approved and it gets onto the IDA can then change the AMI again? Or no?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And just like frankly, after the council, it goes to planning board for site plan, right? So the council completes SECR, and then the project goes to all the other different agencies for their respective approvals.
Excuse me. Thank you, Council President. Do you have any other questions?
I just wanted to
Well-
clarify one thing. So you're saying that once we send it off to the IDA with the actual AMIs, and let's say they said, hey, we're going to raise it to 80%, they can lower it back. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think the IDA, Councilmember Wallace, can make some adjustments, right? If it's
No, I'm just asking
Yeah.
that one question, because
Yeah,
that's what I thought I heard you say.
Yeah, I think,
They
and
can
Diana,
change it.
correct me if you disagree, but the IDA can make adjustments on the AMI that's studied by the council for secret purposes. If it changes materially, then it may need to come back to the council to kind of redo the secret analysis. But I think some minor adjustments in the AMI. Once it gets to the IDA, that would be acceptable.
So if it was 80 and they said we want to make it 70 or 60, they can.
Yeah, it still has to be the satisfaction of the IDA and its consultants, but I think the answer is yes, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, continue the,
Councilmember
thank you.
Turnquest Jones.
Yes, and I'm gonna be on the AMI trail the entire time.
Councilmember Wallace,
No.
Council President Thompson.
Yes. Aye. So, that's 3 votes, so this is gonna have to come.
No, it's a resolution.
I'm sorry, it is a resolution. I'm sorry, I was looking
It
at
passes.
ordinance for the next one. So this makes, go ahead, this makes the city council lead agency for this. Finance and planning, go to 17 now, please.
17, an ordinance authorizing the return of escrow funds for, for 256 to 260 East Third Street. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
All right, 18, a resolution for the City Council of the City of Mount Vernon declaring its intent to serve as lead agency under pursuant to SECRA for expedited review of application of McQuestion Station Takeover LLC for the Station Plaza project and referring the application to the Westchester County Planning Board. So moved.
Second.
On the question, councilpersons? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye.
19, an ordinance authorizing the controller to establish a custodial account for Station Plaza Development Project 20 Southwest Street. So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
Aye. Do we have anything else to come before the council that completes our agenda? No, can we, also, I'd like us to end this meeting, on the passing of, my younger cousin, Wanakia Latrice Wilson. She was born in Mount Vernon, New York, but she moved to South Carolina. And unfortunately, she was, in a terrible accident and it succumbed to her injuries. Her funeral was yesterday, but just keep my family in your thoughts and prayers. She would have been 45 years old. She worked for the United States Post Office in South Carolina, but on her route, she was tragically hit by a 16-year-old driver,
Sorry to hear that.
causing her to lose her life. Okay, so, can we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Roll call on adjournment?
Councilmember Box Hill,
Aye.
Councilmember Gleason,
Aye.
Councilmember Turnquest Jones,
Aye.
Councilmember Wallace,
Aye.
Council President Thompson.
All right, let's stand for a moment of silence. The time is now 10 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.